Hayao Miyazaki is one of the most highly respected animation directors. He achieves visuals on a level like nobody else. He is one of the only few directors that can take you somewhere literally only he could take. There are very, very few directors that are able to do anything like that. Since The Wind Rises, we finally got a new Miyazaki film. He came out of retirement to make this movie, though he has gone out of retirement so many times. That film has a great message about coping with the cost of creation. Everything around may seem ugly and grim, but that doesn't ruin the beauty of art. You can argue, though, that's a theme in all of his movies. He even ends this movie with the quote, "You must live, darling." And then he made this new movie originally titled How Do You Live? It's dense, follows some similar themes to The Wind Rises, even though the stories are completely different from one another. There was hardly any marketing at all in Japan for this film. They teased a poster, that was about it. There was no trailer, no sneak peeks, no like pictures or anything like that. It did well financially, critically, people liked it. It is now here in the States and it is titled The Boy and the Heron. I do not like that title, I will not lie. I don't think it fits the ideas that the film is going for. With How Do You Live, you get a much better idea of what the film is trying to do. With The Boy and the Heron, it's not as clear. Plus, the movie really isn't about Mahito and the Heron. Even though they have plenty of screen time together, they do go on a journey together for the most part. Them together is not the main focus of the story. It seems like that might have been more of a strategy to get kids interested. I'm not saying this was Miyazaki's idea to change the title to that. It might have been Ghibli or anything like that. But I know it worked because people went to go see the movie. It was #1 in the box office on its opening weekend, which is awesome. This is the first time a Miyazaki movie has ever done this. Maybe the first time a Ghibli film has ever done this. I'm not sure off the top of my head. The Boy and the Heron follows a boy named Mahito who lost his mother during the war. His father marries Mahito's aunt. He now has a new home and comes across a gray heron who brings him to a new fantastical world where Mahito is told he can find his mother there. I saw it with subtitles first, and then a couple days later I went to go see it dubbed. Most of the voice acting performances that I'm going to be talking about are going to be the dubbed voice actors, even though I really did enjoy the original voice actors. I do find it interesting though that at least in the dubbed, it seems like the people that were chosen to feature in this film were very intentional. Some of the voice actors in here, such as Christian Bale, Willem Dafoe, Mark Hamill, and Dan Stevens, have all worked before in a Ghibli film. 2 of them have worked in Hayao Miyazaki's films in the past. The other 2 worked on his son's films. And I think all of the dubbed voice actors did a fantastic job in this. I usually think that, though, with all of the Ghibli films, they are all handled well with care. Some of the standouts in this film were Christian Bale, Florence Pugh, and Robert Pattinson. Christian Bale is voicing the same role that Takuya Kimura voices in the movie. They both play a character named Shuichi. They also both voiced Hal. That alone makes it seem a little bit more intentional that Bale is voicing this character. Florence Pugh is voicing a character that is going through a physical transformation, so she has to do a little bit more in this film, but she's practically doing like 2 characters, and she's terrific with it. The main voice actor in The Boy and the Heron that is getting the most attention is Robert Pattinson, who voices the Gray Heron. There are reports that apparently he recorded all of his lines in 2 days, which is pretty impressive, to me at least. His voice work is very similar and probably inspired by Masaki Suda, who also voices the Heron in the original version. They do have some resemblances.
Mahito! What exactly are you? Your mother. She's awaiting your rescue.
But even then, there are some times where Pattinson is doing stuff a little bit different. It's just so different from anything he has done before. It could be a start of a new path for him in his career if he wants to go that route. Along with the great voice talents is the animation, which is beautiful to look at. That is something you could say in any Ghibli film. Miyazaki's style is certainly iconic and it looks just like a lot of his other works, but even in this film, he is doing some new things that I haven't seen before. The usage of fire and heat adds an extreme intensity. You can almost feel it. He is also great at animating speed. There are some moments in this film that are compelling to watch. One of the main collaborators that has been involved in every single Miyazaki movie, including The Boy and the Heron, is composer Joe Hisaishi. His music in this film fits the themes that Miyazaki is going for very well. It's full of tender piano playing, and then the strings help make it so much grander, and it adds a new layer, it adds textures to what is happening in the film. It really elevates everything. It's an essential component to a Miyazaki film, and it is without a doubt important in this film. I have been listening to it nonstop. The King's Parade, that song, that's a bop. Go listen to that song. One of the things that I think some people may bring up quite a bit with this film is that it may be a hard movie to follow, which I think is a fair complaint. I will admit, during the first time I saw this film, I was a little overwhelmed. It is a dense film that is really patient, and there's a lot of world building to it. It's his most fantastical film and weirdest film since Spirited Away. It's not a conventional film, and Miyazaki doesn't seem interested in that at all. Miyazaki is not a Hollywood director. This is not a Hollywood movie. It's just different type of storytelling that may take a little bit to get used to. On a rewatch, I found it a lot easier to sit through. This is typically how it goes with me for any Miyazaki film. The more I watch it, the more I appreciate, the more I find, the more it grows on me. That's just how it typically goes. And that is already happening to me with this film. There are still certain aspects that I have a hard time grasping, like the parakeets. Why did he decide to put parakeets in this film? But also, why not? Maybe he just wanted to have parakeets in a movie for a while. I don't know. It might also feel dense because there are so many metaphors in this film, and they all work on many levels. I'm not gonna go in and explain every single thing, and honestly, I feel like some of it just might be subjective. I saw a film that has a bigger universal message about being born into war and escaping into imagination. There were times when I saw it being about grief, acceptance, and moving on. I also saw a story that is about creation and leaving behind everything you have made. Is Miyazaki seeing himself as Mahito or as the granduncle? Maybe it's both. It's really interesting because maybe I'm just overthinking, and it could be about being ignorant over the world, you know, and lead to its demolition. Typical Miyazaki themes that you always get. However, here is a quote from a Hollywood Reporter article that says what the intentions are behind this film. The Boy and the Heron is something that I have already returned to, and I cannot wait to return to it again. It grows on me the more I think about it. This new world may feel profound at first, but by the end, it wins you over. Miyazaki's animation is familiar for longtime fans, but he is still giving us new stuff, new styles. It's so impressive to me. The score is beautiful to listen to. The voice work from both the dubbed and the subbed are fantastic. However, I have to give major shout out to Pattinson and this film. Just really incredible stuff. I just appreciate so much that was put into this film. I know to some people this may not be a traditional story, but Miyazaki is not a Hollywood storyteller. The writing is so subtle. It's never treated like everything has to be a big reveal. I think maybe that's why some people aren't too crazy about the story, but I find the subtlety to work very well, and I find it quite beautiful. Also, just like any other Ghibli movie, it's just vibes. It's just a film that has vibes. I just wish the original title wasn't scrapped. How Do You Live just works so much better and captures the themes way better than The Boy and the Heron. Apparently, there are reports going around from a Ghibli producer that Miyazaki isn't retiring and is getting ready to work on another film, which is very typical Miyazaki. While I am hopeful and totally down for another Miyazaki film, I am in the mindset that this is it. This is the end. If you are aware of Ghibli got purchased by a company, the timing behind everything, it just really feels like this is one big goodbye. It feels like he is letting go of this world he created. He put everything into this that he loves. He put everything that the fans love into this piece of art. It'll keep growing on me. I cannot wait to see it again. If you haven't seen any of his stuff and you're interested in this film, well, you you have some homework to do. Hate to be that guy, but yeah, you should probably watch all of his stuff stuff before you see this film. This is meant to be seen as his final film. I hate to say goodbye, but can't wait to return to this again. Very hopeful for the future of Ghibli. This is where I am currently putting it on my Ghibli ranked list. Maybe I will move it up a bit whenever I watch this again. But right now, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5, even though it may change later on. But that is currently where I'm sitting at. Thank you guys so much for watching this. Have you seen The Boy and the Heron? Do you have a favorite Miyazaki film? Let me know what I should review next. Please like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you want. Make sure you exercise every day, drink your milk, and have a great day.